How's it going? Is that working? Check. Check. Forgot I had it set to mixing mode. Check. Check. All right, if you're noticing, things are a little bit different here. They look a little bit different. Anyway, we're trying, I got a new desk for starters, but the problem is the reason we're not doing a standing stream today is because I neglected the fact that I would need some longer cables. And my camera my camera cable is just so fucking short. And yeah, so, and I'm also noticing it's very dark. So we're going to have to tweak this. We're just going to actually, guys, we're going to have to deal with the darkness just for today. I'm tweaking some things. We tweaked the camera settings and a few other things last night, and apparently it's not looking as good as I had thought. Oh well, that's okay. It's not the end of the world. This is going to be a darker one, that's all. Pedro, I'm sorry to hear that you're going through it, brother. Life has a way of evening out. It does. I know it might not seem that way now, but life does have a way of evening out for everyone. And I'll tell you that right now, as I've experienced it myself, not to that extent. But I have experienced it myself. And I've learned that if you continuously put your nose down, put your head down, and your elbows up, and your fists up, when problems come along, and you have a lot of, clearly, Pedro, you've got a lot of ways that you've learned to conquer the things that you're dealing with. A lot of bad weather, and it sucks. And I'm sorry to hear you're going through the tough one, brother. But we're here for you. Eddie, nice to see you. Chazman, nice to see you as well. Today we're going over some new stuff. My voice is gone because this cold is still kicking the crap out of me. It's been like a 2-week kind of endeavor at this point, and I've got a hoodie on today because I'm just a little chilled. It's this cold has been it's been like a freaking plague, I'm telling you. So today we're gonna go over some new amps inside here. We've got a few new amps. I've got the Iron Ball, the Low Star, the MC4, I guess it's a new Black Sun. Is this a new Black Sun, or did they do something to it? Why is it that high on the list? Does anybody know? Also the Craxi. And I think we've already done the PRS TM 100. But we might get, who knows? If there's something you guys would like to hear, let me know. I will start by just saying thank you to Audio Assault for always being cool and sending us cool shit to test going back way a long time ago. It looks okay. It's very dark, though. I will say that. This guitar should pop a little more. But it's okay. We're working on it. So to it, yeah. That's what we've been doing, essentially. I put together this desk yesterday. It goes up nice and high. I can't wait to start doing the standing streams. I'm hoping you guys won't notice a huge difference. I'm going to try to set everything so that I'm kind of standing at this level, so everything is just about the same, is the idea. And that way I can just stand and my back doesn't have to be in this fucking shitty chair. It's going to make streams better. It's going to make content better. It's going to make streams potentially longer, because one of the main reasons I hate streaming for long periods of time is because of sitting in a chair. I'm not a sitter. I'm not a sitting type person. I've got ADHD up, all coming out of everywhere. So I like to move around. As you guys are well aware, in Delaware, if you've watched any of my streams before, you'll notice I move around in this chair maybe more than anyone else that you know. So, maybe not though. All right, so this is the Black Sun. We're gonna get started with this guy right here. And I've got my Charvel Skatecaster armed with my Mick Thompson Fishman Fluent set. This set is absolutely one of my favorite pickup sets ever. It's easily my favorite active set of pickups ever. That and the Tim Henson. I'm not even a big fan. I'm not the hugest Slipknot fan. I do like the band. Always have. No, not a hater at all, but I'm not the hugest fan to where I'm going to go and buy a piece of gear simply because it's Mick Thompson's. However, that being said, like we always say, signature gear is in the eye of the is really, if you really don't have to like the artist to like the gear that they put their name on. So always be sure to give stuff a chance regardless of whose name's on it, because you might end up with something you really, really like. I'm not a big Tim Henson guy, but at the same time, his signature pickup set and his signature Ibanez guitars are all just like, whoa, you have some nice, he has great taste in gear. All right, let's see what we got out of the blocks. Sounds like I'm holding it back a little bit. So I'm going to increase the gain. We haven't touched it at all. The Black Sun, we're just getting started with a simple rock tone today. I'll be using the same IR through the entire stream. I won't be using the cabinet section. I'll just be using my own IR just because I want to hear what the amps are giving me. I don't feel like playing pin the tail on the donkey today with 3D cab loaders and stuff. I like IRs. They also give you a lot of IRs in the box here as well. I want to point that out. So if you are feeling like, you touch the IR button, you'll notice that both sides of the cabinet, let's go to the screen. You'll notice that both sides of the cabinet loader have IR. So if you click on IR, this side's not engaged. Oop, it shouldn't be. I thought I turned you off. Anyways, they give you a number of a few IRs here. Anyways, and cabs IRs. So yeah, they give you a fair bit to work with, but I'm just going to work with my own right now because, again, I just want to hear what their amps and pedals are giving me right now. I'm one of those people, man, I just love IRs, but at the same time, I have stuff that I really like, and it's tough for me to not use it. So... Nice. That sounds pretty good. One thing about this pickup set I'm always going to recommend is that if you're not a Fishman Fluence fan lover, if you've tried a few sets of Fishman Fluence and they're not really your thing, you and I are in the same boat. I tried probably 7 or 8 sets of them of the Fishman Fluence humbuckers before I eventually found this beauty here. Thanks so much to my home slice Nate over at Fishman. Always treats me amazingly well. Met a new guy there via email named Dwight today. Anyways, this set is awesome. This set definitely changed my whole opinion on things. Not saying the other sets were shitty or anything like that. There's just some sets I didn't. A couple of sets I tried were in the middle, and a couple of sets I tried were like, okay, that's cool. And then there was one in particular set I really didn't like, the nickel blades. But that being said, we all have different ears. And the reason there are so many pickups out there is so that we can all find something that we love. Now, I don't want this thing in my face either. So if the microphone ends up in front of my face at any point, I'm fucking slouching and I need to get my ass up. All right. Really trying to not slouch as much. Again, this is why I bought the standing desk. The cool thing about it is it's actually wider. It also gives me the opportunity to move the camera back so I get a little bit more room. Four people in the house. That's not a lot today. That's not a lot for a Friday. What's going on? Usually Fridays are our busiest, but then again, people aren't expecting us to be on till about 4:30. Either way, it's always nice having you guys here. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it. I'm going to be talking a mile a minute today, trying my best. I also have a fucked up voice here. Canada, negative 400 degrees. Canada, I'm wearing a hoodie today because I'm a bit chilly. Yeah, that's exactly what it is up here. But although it is actually rather nice outside today, it's not chilly at all outside. It's damp. And I hate spring. I fucking hate spring, guys. I really do. I hate spring. It's too cold to do the summer things, and it's too warm to do the winter things. And there's no snow, but there's lots of dog shit laying everywhere, yellow grass. It's fucking miserable. So anyways, but we've had a lot of rain, and it melted pretty much all the amazing amount of snow we have accumulated. We had this crazy amount of rain, lots of flooding, but not to the crazy extent of some other folks that we know. But nonetheless, all is well here, and happy to get back outside. Wow, that's really nice. That sounds really good, guys. That sounds really good. Cheers to Audio Assault. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. This Audio Assault amp blocker is roughly, I would consider it, if I had to have like some sort of a percentage here, a split, I would say I like about 80% of the amps and pedals. About 80%. 20%, I just, not my thing. And I feel like they've really set the bar super high with some of these amps, and some of the amps don't meet the bar, like they don't meet the bar they've set for themselves. I'm not talking about versus other plugins. I'm saying if you go through the amps, you'll definitely notice that some of the amps just sound like whoa, and some of the amps are just like, oh, it's okay, you know. But I would say it's like 80-20. It's in that ratio. I'm more mind blown than I am not impressed. You know what I mean? There's a lot of the reamps, very simplistic stuff to dial in. If these full amps aren't really your bag and you're like, I don't really know how to dial in an analog amp, and I don't really care if it's got realism as long as the tone is sick, you're going to want to go to the reamp stuff. If you go scroll down the list here, the reamp 2 collection, there's just so much great shit in here. And we're going to go over some of it today. I want to get through some of the newer stuff. So let's start with the Iron B. Yes, Iron B. Making myself laugh over here. The Iron Ball is one of, I believe, if not, is it Engel's most simplistic amp? Is that true? Man, my voice is crust-o-ly today. Let's see what we got. I'm not even boosting nothing yet. This is sounding good. Boost on. I'm gonna leave that boost off. I didn't like that as much as without it. So let's just kind of keep kicking. We're starting light today with some rock riffs. I'm going to get into maybe some chugskis at some point, but nice to see everybody here, by the way. Yeah, by the way, like once again, Pedro, we got you, brother. The most No, no, it's not. No way. Powerball is not the most simplistic amp, dude. There's no chance that's there's so many switches on the Powerball, dude. There's like 4 switches, and like there's like 2 channels that share this and that, and you can switch between voices, and oh my god, am I going cross-eyed again? There it goes. You know, it's that's not the most simple. I think it's the Iron Ball. I think it's the Iron Ball, the one channel. I had a friend of mine that had had an Engel amp. I think it was the Iron Ball, where it was just this little thing and just one little string of knobs, fucking knobs, and then just like that was it. There was barely anything on the front of it. And yeah, it's not the Powerball's not the most simplistic, but it's also not the most complex either. They have fucking amps over there that have all kinds of shit going on. Oh, they have a simplistic version of the Powerball? I didn't know that. Cool, I'm wrong. I guess we're both kind of right and wrong. And I did have a friend of mine that I talked into buying the Mick Thompson set, and he was also very impressed. He put them into a lower end Jackson, I think. It was like a JS32. And I know that not everyone wants to really modify those, but then there are people that really love to modify that JS series. Whatever your thing is. If you like modifying guitars, modify whatever floats your boat. That's fine by me. What cab am I using? I'm using, as always, the Dr. Bonkers EGA 412 414 Hype Reel Mix. That is my favorite IR. It's tagged in the description of all of our videos at this point. Both that and the Sula 412. I highly believe in Dr. Bonkers. I'll be doing a little bit of work for him over the course of things. Because I just think that Mike's work over at Dr. Bonkers is just some of the most impressive work ever done by anyone with regard to impulse responses. If you don't believe me, head over there and just buy any pack. Find one pack, and they're all reasonably priced. I don't get a kickback or anything, so just check out his stuff. Dr. Bonkers Sound Lab. Ronnie Webster, what's up, dude? Wow. Beefy. Let's throw in some pedals. 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 Yeah, the angle likes the Boss Overdrive. That's a little bit loud. Sorry, guys. I'm probably blowing out your ears right now. Or how's the guitar volume, actually? Sounding good. Sounding very nice. You just traded in some guitars and got an LTD EC. What do you mean? You traded in some guitars. How many guitars did you trade in for the one guitar? I never like to hear about multi-guitars going for one guitar unless it's like some sort of, crazy circumstance. Yes, the pickups are worth more than the guitar, but sometimes people just like mods. Plus, he has nicer guitars. He's just learning how to set up. He's learning how to install his own pickups, and he decided to buy a JS32. I think it's a Warrior. I think he just decided to buy one just for mod projects to practice, just in case, like, I know he owns a couple of like Deans, like higher end Deans anyways. And I know that he's probably not confident touching those guitars. So yeah, he dove into the Warrior, and I guess he's done some passive pickups before, but he asked me for some advice with Fishman, and I said, yeah, don't do it. I'm just kidding. And I told him, give it a shot. Hopefully it works out, kind of thing. And he did it. He said it took him a couple of tries to make sure it got all correct, but apparently it's all done. So that's pretty awesome. I want to put on some more, a little more in that, if I can, a little bit more distortion. A little out. All right. So we're going to be here for however long we're here today. I kind of want to get some other things done tonight. There's also a very important hockey game on tonight. And you're like, what do you mean important hockey game? Well, my team is in the Stanley Cup playoffs for the first time in 14 years. So I'm excited about it. So here we are. I sent you on a malevolence kick and you bought, and wait a minute. You had to spend actual money? What do you mean you had to spend actual money? Like on plugins, on music? Which one? I'm super glad for that. That's what plugins, our signature plugins can be good for. You might like the artist, you might not like the artist, but the gear could still be cool. And on the other side of things, you might never have heard of that artist and end up enjoying the artist a whole bunch. I know that's happened to more than one person out there where you've seen a plugin and been like, who the heck is that guy? Or who the heck is this band? Or who the heck is that producer? And then you check out their stuff and you're like, woo, gold mine. And then all of a sudden you're like, you want to go and check out their music or the stuff they've produced. And all of a sudden you're, maybe you're watching YouTube videos of how to produce like that person. I know that's happened to a few different people out there when they purchased a plugin that was based on a producer's creations. 2 Fireflies for 1 EC401. Well, as long as you're down with that, 12 people in the house. Wow, the shit spiked right up. Welcome. My name is Tyler. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the AmpSim Show. Today we're just gonna hang out. We're just gonna, as we do every Friday at 4:30 Eastern Time, 4:30 p.m. I'm not up in the middle of the night, so not generally. In fact, never. Once upon a time in my life, yes, but no. Plus, who would fucking watch at 4:30 in the morning? I mean, really, even in Europe, it's pretty early for anybody to watch this asshole talk. So, let's see. Ooh. You know what? I'm going to turn that boost off for a second here. That is chonky. Woo! I am enjoying myself. I am enjoying myself. This is fun. Weird. Interesting. As I'm scrolling here, I'm noticing that the knob. Is this also the same for these ones? It is too. Interesting. I'm noticing that the knobs, they move in small clicks instead of actually turning on this amp. Interesting. Very interesting. You don't see that all that often. This is very clear, very, very strong sounding. And these pedals, I mean, I think it's up to you guys. What do you have you guys tried these pedals? Do you like them? Do you not like them? My suggestion with any subscription service when it comes to something that has tons of gear in it is try it for 3 months, but make sure it's 3 months that you have, like for this would cost you for 3 months about $15 total, not 15 per month, but I think it's $5, $6, $7 a month now. Either way, it's probably going to be under $20 to check it out for 3 months, or around $20. And that's not too fucking bad for 3 months of the subscription. So I would check it out for 3 months so that, and make sure it's a 3 months that you're going to be an active, you're actively playing, maybe, you know, preferably if possible, also actively creating things like mixing and stuff like that, so that you can check out how everything in here works for you. And at the end of the 3 months, you can, you know, just choose to be like, this is not for me, or yeah, hell yeah, I'm just going to kind of keep going with this and see what else they drop in. If you're in the chat, wow, we had 3 people just fuck right off. Sorry, guys. Maybe not. I'm not really sure. It's weird. It super fluctuates on Fridays. It sounds freaking great. Thank you. Hey, Tyler, quick question. Do you know if any Freedman cab IRs or any good Marshall ones? Good Lord. How much time do you have? The best Freedman cab IR I think I've ever used, I would probably point over to the OwnHammer Freedman libraries. Those are amazing. As for Marshall, good Lord. There are a billion of those out there. Tons and billions and trillions. Not trillions, or billions, actually. There's probably a good hundo cab packs out there based on the Marshall 412, though. At least. There's, if you're looking, everyone that's ever made a Marshall pack, there's probably 100. There are probably 100 different packs of Marshall IRs out there. And that's being pretty conservative. There's tons of them. But if, man, honestly, it really depends if you like blends, or do you prefer mixing single files in a dual loader? I'm guessing you might be more of a blends kind of fella. There's also ML Sound Lab that have a few amazing packs of Marshall shot cabinets. The disc F-Man 6-pack was and still is best. I don't know if it's discontinued. I think they brought something back. There's a new Freedman pack that they have available, I think, at OwnHammer. Do they not have a Freedman pack available over there? Let's go check it out. OwnHammer. The Chugginator. I'm still interested in this. But I'm not going to, I refuse to promote something when the company just doesn't seem to care about the plugin very much. It's a super weird endeavor, but I really want it. So I think I might just get it anyways. And then there are no demos based on this thing. None. Zero. And that shocks me right to my core. Right to my core. It does. I assume that this would be something that people would really like. However, we're not always correct. Okay. Imperial Bundle, F-Man. Here we are. This is the F-Man pack. F-Man Essentials. $19.99. You will enjoy this pack 100%. The F-Man Essentials Wave Audio Format and Pulse Response Library captures and is seeking to recreate the sound of a Freedman BE 412 closed back cabinet loaded with import Celestion M25 and V30 speakers, pre-made blend provided only, not individual speakers. What do you mean? Huh? Custom mixes. Oh, so. Oh, did they change things that drastically? Either way, this pack is going to impress for sure. 100% will impress you. I would say almost anything here at Own Hammer is going to impress. There's really nothing. There's nothing bad here. It all sounds super good. There's like everything that Own Hammer ever did sounds amazing. And there's all kinds of different legacy packs. I thought it was really strange to discontinue a bunch of stuff. It kind of confused me what exactly happened over at Own Hammer. I don't know. I think they redid a lot of things, but took the old ones off, but didn't. I don't know exactly. But either way, anything you buy here is gonna rip. So yeah, do check that stuff out. Yeah, it's got to be the @ Void Rift codec. I don't know why. I think until I do some content on there. And by the way, the first stream on the new channel is going to be tomorrow. So check it out. It'll be tomorrow at some point. I don't know exact times. So there very likely it will not be a stream here every Saturday. I might alternate Saturdays. I don't know exactly how I'm going to work it. I'm also going to be doing a lot of pre-recorded content now that I finally have things set up the way I want. And very excited. 12 people in the house. Let's get chatting, folks. My name is Tyler. Today we're going over some really, really cool stuff from Audio Assault and their popular amp locker platform. And there's nothing bad really in here. There's a couple of amp sims that... Again, there's a couple of amp sims here that I just don't think reach the bar that they've set inside the plugin for themselves. Some of these amps are just, like I said earlier, so good that you're going to sit there and be like, good God, this is incredible. And then some are just going to maybe leave you with just, I'm going to kind of go try something else sort of scenario. But I honestly don't believe that we're all meant to love everything in every giant suite, because we're all different players. So we're going to try the Lone Star. This is the Low Star, not the Lone Star. All right, let's see what this is all about. Oh, really? Really? Nice. Very nice. Very nice. Very, very nice. Mark Swarbrick, nice to see you, my friend. Very nice to see you. And yeah, hopefully you can find the new channel. We're going to be giving some stuff away. Everything bundle from Aurora DSP. Going to be throwing in some prizes from from Fuse Audio Labs. There's going to be some stuff from hopefully Audiority. There's going to be a bunch of stuff. It's not just going to be a streaming channel. Essentially, if you're curious what this new channel is about, it is essentially going to be 100% dedicated to Doom, Stoner Doom, Stoner Rock, Drone, and relatable genres, and also maybe even dipping into like classic rock and some other things. Essentially, the main focus of this channel is going to be to bring more analog users. What is that? There's an odd noise my cat just made. So yeah, bringing people that are still under this very strange belief that that analog is the only way to do some of these genres. And the reason we're not, including anything else is because we're mostly going to be after these genres that are, for the most part, these genres that are going to be, that all have this analog only kind of mythology or mythos attached to them. This attitude of it's only analog and analog is the only way it's really hurting a lot of people, especially because many of us have been forced to move into smaller scenarios where we may be very close to neighbors. And let's be honest, not a whole fucking lot of situations where you can just fire up a 412, or sorry, 412 cabinets and 3 heads just because you want to write a song. We all got, well, not we all got, but many people have scenarios that you just can't make noise. And we're trying to bring those people to the best digital solutions possible for those genres that they love. Just trying to break that down. And in 2026, this channel and our sister, brother channel, whatever you want to call it, that's what we're about here. The thing is, these other genres, a lot of other genres and styles of playing have already been broken into by plugins and the digital realm. Metal's been using digital stuff since the way back. Metal dudes have been interested in any way they could possibly chug for a long time. Rock players have adopted plugins, especially even classic rock. But main genres, things like, country has even started to adopt plugins. Not as quickly, mind you, but they are doing it, especially the producers. So, but when it comes to doom, drone, southern rock, even if we want to, include the fringe stuff, these people are still stuck in the Stone Age, and not in a bad way, but it's tough when you enter a genre and you're like, what's this place about? And everyone is just preaching, no digital, not allowed, or you're a poser. On stage, completely agree with you. I would never take a stage with a modeler again, not ever. Or certainly not a direct rig. I would maybe go digital, but I want moving air back there. But you know what? At 2 o'clock in the morning, if I want to write a song, this is where I'm at. So anyways, let's continue. This is the Low Star. This is really good. Really, really good. Just noticing little things. I like noticing little things. So I actually don't know. This is a Mesa Boogie amp I don't know much about. The Lone Star. Really don't know a ton about it. The Lone Star and the Stiletto, I know a bit about the Mark II C+, the Mark IV, the Mark V, the Rectifier series. Yeah, all things I know a little bit about. The Rectoverb even. I've seen it. But the Lone Star is not an amp I've ever seen even anyone use on stage. I've never even been to a concert where there was an artist using a Lone Star, or I've never been through a used music store, a brand new music store that had a Lone Star. So if I had, I would have definitely listened up. But instead, I have to kind of rely on the YouTube, anybody who's ever uploaded content with it. Good thing there are a lot of people that have done content with the Lone Star, and it's becoming a low-key, very popular amp out there. Some people I've even seen would like to see Neural DSP take on the Lone Star. In another collaboration with Mesa Boogie. What do you guys think about that? That'd be all right. No problem. But in this case, love this one. Is there another one? Is it, does STL Tones, did they put one in there, or is that the one that's coming? Can't remember. Either way, also Tone 3000 Tudor. Tudor did an amazing pack based on the Lone Star, or shot with the Lone Star rather. So go and check that out on Tone 3000. I just happen to be in the same tuning as the band that I'm listening to right now. That's awesome. C sharp is the shit. That's right, Badlander, not Lone Star. See, again, that's two amps that I constantly confuse. Derp. And we all make mistakes. I confuse those two amps because they're two amps. That's another one I don't know much about. So the Badlander and the Lone Star they escape me. I've done a little bit of tone searching on the Lone Star, not the Badlander though. Scott Ian needs a plugin. He sure does. And I can tell you that I know for a fact he's been offered one. I can tell you that with 110% certainty. 100% certainty that he's been offered one. But I don't know what came of it, but I can tell you that he has been offered one. Ah, that's actually a decent riff. Wow, speed that up to a skate punk riff. That actually sounds pretty sick. So yeah, we're having a good time today. I'm gonna be here for a while. Today. But in halfway through, I'm taking this fucking hoodie off because it's getting warm in here. Super warm. Stale. I wanted to tell you I very much appreciated the Aurora DSP free stuff. I just haven't tried it out yet. Just needing to put strings on my guitar. I'm that much of a lazy asshole. Why are you apologizing, dude? We all move at our own pace. That's nonsense. It's not as if I'm sitting here like, that son of a bitch. You know, like, it's all good, dude. I've given people lots of free stuff that they have yet to get into. Lots. And that's okay. Because I love giving away free stuff and it just sits there for a bit. That's fine. You get to it when you need it. Gary Holt needs a tonality. Well, he's got a couple of... That's funny that you mentioned that, actually, because I also did the ToneHub update. And I know Gary Holt has 2 packs now, I think. I really want to get into that shit today. We might do that today. It's because it's not going to be limited. It's not just limited to Audio Assault today. Well, I want to go over the new Audio Assault stuff. Do you want me to go to the Gary Holt stuff after that? Because we can. 100%. Second half today is going to be ToneHub. We're just going to go through all the packs. They were nice enough to send me all the packs. I'm going to go through all the packs. Not all of them. But anything you guys want me to go through, you guys can do it yourself as well, by the way. They offer free trials for every single solitary pack they offer for a Control Hub and ToneHub. And there is a shit ton of them. So we're going to go through that second half ski today. And if there's anything you guys want to see, please do go through both the Audio Assault Amp Locker and ToneHub selection. If there's anything you want me to ever get to, I'm in here. I'm in. I'm here for you guys. Remember that, right? So if there's anything you want me to get to, please do just be like, please use this or please use that. And I'm usually going to be like, yeah, let's do it. After I'm done with the Low Star. Anybody know why I'm saying it like that? Is there anybody in the chat that might have picked that up yet? Lone Star. Whoa, that riff's fun. The fact that the world didn't fucking implode with the Colin Richardson ToneHub pack blows my mind. That's like getting basketball lessons from LeBron or Jordan. You know, the thing is, I love that you love that pack. And that they offer so much inside both of these platforms that everyone's going to enjoy something in here. It's not possible that you won't enjoy it. I guarantee you're going to at least love 50% of what's in here. You know what I mean? I would guarantee it's going to be more than 50%, but there's no way that you're gonna crack open Amp Locker and not like at least 50% of the stuff. That's just an impossibility. In my opinion, I don't know how that could possibly happen, but again, you know, you never know. So yeah, liking this new setup. Can't wait to stand up though. I got this nice little, I didn't know it was a bath mat. Because we got not hardwood. We got laminate floors in here, and I don't want to walk around. I like to be in my bare feet, and I don't want to walk around on the laminate. So I got this like, I thought it was just a large area rug, fluffy. It's a bath mat. It's definitely a bath mat, but it's got the little no slippies. It's awesome, and it's so cushy on my toes. So I can't wait. I ordered everything I need today, all the extensions. Problem is with my camera, you can't really extend. Apparently it's very picky, so there might be a possibility where I might even have to get a new camera to use the standing desk. That might suck. No boost right now. Nothing. No boost on. I just want to point that out. This is an unboosted. That just sounds so good, dude. Wow. I would love to mix this with a Marshall in a mix. I think that I would love to be able to do that. And you can do that if you want. You can go to that Black Sun, because Black Star is essentially just Marshall amps. Are they not? I mean, I'm not really sure if they are or if they are not, but it seems to be. There are tons of Marshalls in here that you can sink your teeth into, though. There's the Modfire LA, which is a heavily modified Marshall. There is the Game Shoe, which is I believe also a heavily modified Marshall. If it's based on the Meshuggah, which I think it is, the Meshuggah is a heavily modified Marshall. So there's that. And if you keep going down the list, I believe there are more Marshalls. One thing, the Prestige 1959. One thing I really like, Brightone as well. One thing that really stood out to me about amp lockers, if you ever used any of their old plugins, like the Emperor or the Bulldozer or the Dominator, those were maybe not the best plugins. Certainly not the worst, but maybe not the best plugins. But in Amp Locker, they've been given these the steroids, essentially. Lots and lots of steroids. And now the Dominator, the Bulldozer, and the Emperor all sound like, I'm talking 100% better. Not just 50% or like just, 12% better. These things sound 100% better. Also, Sigma sounds super rad. RVXX, if you guys remember the RVXX, that, I think, wasn't it a free plugin for a bit? I can't remember. There's also Hellbeast, and there are a number of plugins. These are the ones we're talking about right here. Dominator, Bulldozer, Emperor, the Crown. Also another Mezzo Boogie that's superb. This thing sounds awesome as well. This is the Crown. I think it's based on the Mezzo Boogie Triple Crown, if I'm not mistaken. 11 people in the house. Say what's up. If you're brand new and you're a lurker, maybe you've never chatted with us before, remember we have that brand new new user initiative where you might just win something. You never know. So jump in with us. We're always happy to answer questions. If we're moving too fast, if you're a beginner user or an intermediate user and we are moving a little too quick and we're leaving some stuff out and we're leaving you a little confused, that is not what we want for this channel whatsoever. So feel free to ask questions. You will not interrupt. You will not interrupt the chat or the flow by any means. We are here for you. We also have a number of staffers in the chat, and a number of very knowledgeable users that, while they may not be staffers, are still perfectly capable and qualified to answer most of your questions, very likely. So please don't be shy. We are here for you. I'm just so impressed. The Meza Boogies, the Marshalls, one of the most dramatic improvements was Shibalba. This amp, you guys know me, right? You guys know that I call it as I see it. This amp sim, when it was in its standalone form prior to Amp Locker, sounded like an amp that had 2 moving blankets over the cabinet. It did. There was no top end to it. You could crank all the top end up that you wanted, and it would still sounded, let's just say it sounded good for jazz. But it was not very, there was the presence, the top end was just simply not there. However, and yes, the Bogner Shiva is itself, I mean, maybe, is it not the brightest amp? Again, this is an amp that I'm not 100% familiar with. I just know that when I was hearing it, there's no way that the real amp it was that dark. This, however, if you turn up the presence and the top end controls, they're there, and it sounds awesome. This might be one of the most dramatic improvements all across the board of everything they've done with this particular, with all the stuff they've ported over. This might be one of the ones where I used it and I was just beside myself. I said, holy shit. They have just completely re-energized all of their old products. So if there's any of their old products that you used and the first time you used it, you're like, I don't know. You know, I don't really like that. Or, I don't like that at all. Which was me. I'm just going to, again, calling as it is. This amp, when I first used it, when it was given to me, I was like, this is very dark. This is not meant to be this dark. I'm not even sure I reviewed it. But this version is amazing. Incredible version of this. That sounds awesome. Like, I can't even believe that's the same amp. It doesn't even sound like the same amp. It sounds so much better. And from what very little I've listened to on the Shiva, it has that nice chimey, that squishy chiminess to it. Is it still a tiny bit dark? Maybe. A tiny bit. But no, this thing is still pretty rad. Just ridiculous. So good. So good. And I'm, again, very impressed. And there's a couple more new things I want to get to before the break. The Kraxi. This is a Kraken what? That's an amp company I know very little about. Very, very little about. But I know a lot of people know a lot about it. So let's see what you guys got. A little bit quiet. I feel like the default volume could probably be adjusted on this one a little bit, but apart from that, because I don't like having to reach for like the faders or the global output to kind of give things a goose. But at the same time, is it a big deal? No, it's not a big deal. Again, we are wowzers. Jesus. Again, this is not boosted. There's nothing on right now. There's nothing out front. This is so tight for something that has absolutely no boost whatsoever going on. Holy shit. I'm sitting here just like, oh, I can't believe how good this sounds and feels. Oh, shit, this sounds good. Shit. Oh my God. I'm so impressed right now. Jesus, what amp is this based off? Thy Craxy? Does anybody know what amp this is based on? Triple Crown is an underrated amp. I agree. Top right on the amp, it appears a cog to change values? On which amp? I missed that part. Sorry. Top right of the amp. What do you mean top right of the amp? Which amp? Pedro, I missed that. Sorry. It's easy to achieve great tone now. Victory Croc. So it's a Victory Crocken? That's the name? Oh, okay, I guess. Okay, so this amp has been done before, sort of. I know that it was at least a portion of an amp in that Nolly plugin. It's funny when you talk to some people about like the archetype plugins, and there are so many like the Neural DSP, like the fanboy guys, that'll be like, it's based on this amp. I saw the picture of Nolly. You know, it's not, no. That's what they want you to think. They want you to look at that. They want you to think that. However, I do believe there's a lot of Franken-amping. I believe. This is a speculation. I don't work at that company. I have no idea. But I do believe there's a lot of Franken-amping going on in the Archetype series. And when I say Franken-amping, that means the mixture of different power tubes and different preamps and different power sections, different power tubes with maybe preamps that weren't meant to. Like, for example, in the Nolly Archetype plugin, I believe that one Marshall is either 6L6 or KT88 fuel. There's no universe where that white amp is an EL34, but I do think it also sounds a lot like a Marshall. So I think there's a lot of different Franken-amping things, and it's happening in a lot of companies are doing Franken-amping. Wavemind, Franken-amping. Ignite Amps has done, STL Ignite has been doing Franken-amp stuff for years. So there's a lot of that goes on in the plugin world. Why? Because it's easy. Let's pump the brakes on easy. But it's not easy to do, but it's a lot more possible in the plugin world than it is in the real world, in the analog world sometimes, to build these things. Some things that might not even necessarily work electronically when you try to put things together. But in the plugin universe, things do work, especially when it comes to pairing amps with different cabinets that maybe that particular, you're gonna see that tomorrow. I'm gonna be going over a brand new product tomorrow on the new channel that is from Hertz Audio, and they did this the Josh Homey amp, the Queens of the Stone Age Caius amp, a little tiny PV Decade. So we're gonna be doing that tomorrow on the other channel. But that just kind of brings that up, is that tomorrow what I'll do there is I'll be putting that little tiny combo amp through a bunch of 412 IRs. In the real world, could we do that? Probably not, not really. There's a lot of amps and cabinets that probably aren't meant to go together unless you're on the back changing the ohmage, if there is even something that works along with it, or maybe the cabinet has the ohmage change. You guys know what I'm getting after here. But there's things that are just so possible in the plugin world that are just not possible, or maybe very, very hard to do in the analog world. So that's another kind of benefit to plugins. And there are some Franken amps in here as well, I do believe. If you want to go, there are some original creations slash maybe Franken amps going on here. The Ganj amp, the Krieg, the Vulgar. The Insanity is all, that's super fun. The Insanity is the old school Line 6 Insane. The Chainsaw is, in my opinion, it's probably still a little broken, but I think that if they were to increase the top end, the Chainsaw could be one of the coolest, absolutely coolest components rather inside amp locker. So lots of Franken amps going on in here as well, like the old stuff, Dominator, Bulldozer, Emperor. Those could be Franken amps. And as mentioned before, you get into this reamp stuff, and it's all very, very easy to dial in, and it's awesome stuff. All of it is just awesome. There is no shortage of great tones inside this plugin. Go to the Nightmare, for example. It's super easy to get great tone in this plugin. So easy. And again, if you're one of those types of people that's not all about the all bells and whistles, you're gonna love the reamp stuff. I know a lot of people that swear by the reamp stuff. They don't really they mess with this stuff more than the other stuff inside here. And this is also one of my favorites here. This is the Stein. And then you want to boost that, no problem. So yeah, there's just so much in here. You know what? I'm not even going to say, I'm going to retract what I said earlier. It's not 80-20. It'd be more like 90-10. More like 90-10, because as I'm looking through here, I'm pretty hard-pressed to find the stuff that didn't fire as hard on me. They even did a fun little Christmas amp. Kind of looks like something that, what's that weird plug-in company that's got all the fucking crazy-looking plugs? Safari pedals? Kind of looks like they did an amp sim as well. I think it was kind of like that. Very nice. Mr. Shawl, the MCJ 800 lead series modifier. Super sick. Super sick. This is super fun to use. This thing is going to do pretty much anything that the modified Marshall is going to do. Like it's probably going to do your Van Halen tones and anything from that to, thrash to modern metal. Pretty sure my Randall is still in the reamps, the RGP 1000. Let's go. RGP 1000. Where it be? Where you be? Is it in here? Reamp 2. I can't find it. I'm also going quite quickly through here, though. Can't find it. What do they call it in here? Anyhow, you guys are very well aware that wow, 14 people now. It's nice to see you. Nice to see you. So second half, Ski, I'm going to come back, same guitar, and we're going to go over a bunch of ToneHub stuff, and you're going to get your choice You're going to get to request whatever you'd like to hear, whichever pack you'd like me to go over. As long as we have the time, we're going to get into it. Starting with the Gary Holt packs. One of them I already went over at some point, I think. So this time, we're going to go over it again. But yeah, the LTD I got was a good trade. I traded the Firefly Les Paul and a Firefly Telly that have been sitting around. Neither you paid money for. How'd you get them? I wanted an EMG loaded monster, and you got it. That's sick, dude. You know what? Now that you kind of put it out that way, if there's a good, yeah, if it's stuff that you're straight up just not using, and you want to just repurpose it as something that is like going to really fill a slot, yeah, absolutely. I've been part of many a bad trade over the years. I've been on both sides of bad trades, and I think they all work themselves out. You know what I mean? I'm not considering that a bad trade, though. What I'm saying is that, like, I've been on the end of bad trades. That's not a bad trade. The worst trade I ever made was trading like a whole drum kit trading a really nice strat for some random drum parts is what I did. And I look back and I'm like, shit, I wish I hadn't done that. It was like a lace sensor loaded strat. It was such a nice and fun guitar. Such a bummer. At least I know the person that bought it, and it went on to live a very happy life in a band that actually toured a bunch. So that's pretty cool. Kyle Hunter, nice to see ya. Gary Holt pack. Lucius, nice to see you as well. Sounds like a steal. Which LTD model? Been loving my EMG loaded Schecter Damien. Never been an EMG fan, but my friend has a Schecter Damien with EMGs, and I fucking love them in that guitar for some reason. Yeah, you know, EMGs are definitely, you can put them in anything and they'll sound terrific, but there are certain guitars where they excel. I mean, when I say terrific, I mean, it's as good as way better than you would expect a hockey stick to sound. There's a video that somebody did that. They made a gent stick out of a fucking goalie stick, a hockey goalie stick, and put an EMG and one big ass like 90 gauge string or 100 gauge string or something on it, and it's a one string, and the shaft of the hockey stick is the neck, and it sounds like a weird ass like fretless bass or something like that. I don't know, it's super weird, but you can put an EMG 81 in anything and get whatever it is to sound better than you thought it was going to sound before. However, that being said, the 81's, it's an acquired taste for some. I really feel like a lot of people would like it a lot more if they tried the 18 volt mod or even the 24 volt mod. The 18 volt mod just makes the EMG 81 better, 100%. However, if you really want to change your opinion about EMG pickups, I will tell you one pickup, the sleeper pickup that you need to try is the Alexi Laiho pickup and preamp set that they sell. The ALX set, I think it's called. It is something else. I was so absolutely blindsided by that particular pickup that I had no words. I was just like, holy shit, are we kidding right now? It's a great pickup, really great pickup. So I highly advise that one as well. I've only tried the EMG at 9 volts. I'd probably like them. Yeah, you'd love Eddie. You know what? I might even be able to just send you an EMG and everything needed for, you know what? I might be able to do that because I've got some stuff kicking around. We might even be able to send you enough to put the 18 volt mod in one of your guitars just to see how much you like it. Yeah, the Alexi Laiho set, unfortunately, that's one that's never going to leave my possession. Now that, thanks so much to Tommy at EMG for all his support over the years. So guys, I'm going to take a quick break and we're going to come back. But before I take that quick break, let's just kind of do a conclusion here on amp locker. This thing is awesome. It's got an amp player as well. If you're curious, you can use the NAMP player. Warning, stereo mode supported, but it consumes twice the CPU. So there's a NAMP player, there's a snapshot player. I don't know much about it, haven't tried it. Also, there's a couple of signatures that are Not included with the subscription. Just keep that in mind. They only work in here if you have the plugin installed, or if you have the license in your account. I can't remember exactly how that works. Either way, this one sounds. Let's just give a quick shout out to my boy, the Blueberry here. And this is, of course, believe it or not, this is a signature amp sim for the fellow from Buried Alive. Whether you're a fan or not, somebody once upon a time made a little joke when I opened this amp sim up and asked if it would. No, you know what? We're not going to go down that road. No, I'm not going to open that can up. Anyhow, so yeah, this is worth it. Try it for 3 months, but as mentioned, don't try it for 3 months if you're just going to let it sit there. You know, like, try it for 3 months and be active. Sometimes subscription services are kind of almost meant in a way to maybe keep you active. I don't know, but this one, $5 a month, or 5 or 6, maybe it's $7 a month. I can't remember exactly what it is at this point, but probably under $20, $25, you're going to get 3 months of service for, or even just try 1 month if you're the type of person that plays a lot every day and you're recording a ton. Maybe even just try it for 1 single month. It's going to cost you less than a Happy Meal. Less than a Happy Meal at McDonald's is what it's going to cost you to try this for a month. Just think of how many hours you can get of enjoyment you could get in 1 month for what'll end up being $5, $6, $7 or something like that. That's not too bad. And we didn't even scratch the surface of some of the cool shit in here. There's some really interesting stuff like the Krieg, for example. There's Gonjam, which is meant to be kind of like your Stoner Doom kind of solution. You've got the Vulgar, which is pretty awesome. It's got the Black Tooth, the Jack and Coke here up, sitting on the amp up top. That's pretty sick. So yeah, lots in here to impress you. And so yeah, thanks so much to Audio Assault for sending it over. And we continuously get great content out of this thing. And, you know, there's really nothing bad I can say about this platform. It's affordable. There's tons in it. And as far as the cabinets go, we didn't use the cabinets today. I want to be very honest that there are tons of cabinets in here. Although, here we are. I have a few of them. If you're curious, I have a few of them. And you can get your hands on some as well. But there are a bunch in here that I've had the pleasure of testing. I just didn't feel like playing... I didn't feel like setting up mics and stuff today. I just felt like kind of going at it with an IR I trust. And we got a lot of tones out of the amps today that I was so impressed with. So impressed with. Today was a 10 out of 10 kind of session with Amp Locker. And I'm super thankful to have it for these kind of moments. It's just so much fun to make content with big plugins that have lots of gear in them. So I will be back in about 2 or 3 minutes. 3 or 4 minutes max. I'm just going to get the hoodie off here and then come on back to you guys with ToneHub. So thanks for being here. Like and subscribe if we've entertained you today. If not, then we have to keep on trying. And please do. Don't forget, at Void Riff Codec, if and only if you're a fan of the Doom and the Stoner Rock and things of that sort, please do jump into that. We will be getting going tomorrow with what will be kind of a channel introduction stream to telling the potential new viewers what we might be doing and all of that sort of thing. So if you guys want to be there to support the very first episode in what is very much a voyage into different waters than we've ever been into before. We're going to be going up against a lot of skeptical people as well. So hopefully you guys don't mind jumping into a few of those. All right, guys, see you in 2 or 3. Thanks for being here. anybody else have an animal that have a pet that is like a serial seat stealer, like a seat stealing machine? Does anybody else have like a cat or a dog? Hopefully not a gerbil that'll do that. Cat hair. All right. Sorry about that. As you guys are well aware, I have animals, and the animals occasionally they make hair that are, although they don't shed that often. When you put your animals on raw food, they shed significantly less. Anyways, what are we gonna do now? Oh, hold on, guys. I gotta go to the all face screen for a second while I verify. I know it's gonna ask me to verify and password and a bunch of other crap, so just give me a sec here. Last time I used this, it actually didn't work. So it'll be interesting to see what happens this time. It didn't work last time. An error has occurred. Hold on. Check for updates. I have the latest installed. Just making sure I have everything together here. Activations, subscriptions, refresh. Perfect. We are good to go. Hey! Sad that you had to witness that. That was my little victory dance. And boy, oh boy, I have had some issues with technology the last couple of days here. Why is it behaving that way? I had a real interesting day yesterday. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, I set everything back up on my new desk, and out of nowhere, all of a sudden, my SteelSeries mouse, which is a good mouse, it was stuck in double click. The left click was stuck in double click. And the one thing that makes me more, maybe you guys are the same, maybe you folks are the same as me, but one thing that makes me maybe more furious than many things is when technology does not work when it was working just fine the day before. When there's like a spooky ghost in the machine, bullshit. That stuff drives me crazy. So, that being said, just let's go discover some Gary Holt. Wow, there's a lot of packs in here. Gary! Gear! Excuse me. Excuse me. Looks like there's just one? I thought there was more than one. There's more than one. It looks like he's got 2 packs here. Are there 2 packs in one? Or is this it? Am I wrong? Or was there not? I could swear there were 2 Gary Holt packs. Gary. Let's see. Just pull up just Gary. Gary? Gary! Nope, that's it right there. Just the one. Oh well, I'm not going to complain. Let's have some fun. Low gain. Oh! Ah! What do I have something else? I want to make sure I have nothing else on in the chain. Okay. That first tone just hit me different. It just that was the IR shock mostly probably. You guys know when you change IRs drastically, even if like you're using a file you love and you're using another, and then you switch to a very, very different, but still very high quality file, immediately your brain is going to go, that fucking sucks. But give yourself a second to adjust, play some chords, and you're, oh, okay, I get it again. Are there any pedals on? Okay, so I guess they've got stomps now. Now you can add pedals to their tracer. They've got a bunch of different tracers. You can, I guess, add multiple different. You can add multiple different traces to the tracer plugins. Sorry, tracer amps. Tracer pedals. Fuck. The Overdrive 1, Overdrive 2, Overdrive 3, Overdrive 4. I'm presuming that this is average tube screamer. This is a Maxon 808X, baby. This is maybe a BS1. That looks like your average Fortin something or other. That to me looks like You look at the L and the H here, that looks to me like this is an HM2. Here's a fuzz. They've added quite a few pedals out front. Definitely way more than before. However, there are pedals included. Now, one thing I want you to look at here is that you have to remember these are all shot with like a guitar and everything. This is like a full signal chain. Now, here's one thing I want to note. This says here that an EMG 81 was used for all of these. Every single one except for this one that says EMG HZ. Now, I want to note that has kind of maybe something to do with it. I mean, maybe these are going to sound better with an EMG 81. Or if you want to experience them maybe more like they were meant to be experienced, you're going to maybe attack them with an EMG loaded guitar. Who knows? Either way, that doesn't sound like low gain to me. Not a big fan of the Jubilee. Is there something in particular you wanted me to go over in this there, Rudy? The Tim Robertson. Nice to see you, dude. Dude, mouse issues drive me nuts. I had to scroll wheel. Yeah. That was what we dealt with last year. Again, it's cat hair. Right in my fucking sniffer. It's either that or it's a mustache hair that's gone rogue. That's another thing that happens from time to time is the mustache hair will just decide, I'm gonna stand straight up. Goes right up my nose and all of a sudden causes this like full like shake of like, get off. I hate that feeling when there's like something just hovering around your nose. Oh, like another hair. It just drives me mental. All right, so we're using the PB-XXX with arachnid cabinets throughout. There's an arachnid cabinets. I think this is the whole way through. Yeah, the whole way through, except for the Marshall 1960. There's a Marshall over here. He just like sprinkled in a little Marshall in there. Hey, what's up? How are you? Nice. The missus just got home. There has to be greetings. All right, so we're going over this particular pack. Hey, what's going on, Zan? I didn't see you pop in. When did you get here? Oh, just there. Hey, gang. I'm randomly using the KSR Serbies. Let's not call it that. It's the Aurora. It'd be the KSR series. It's a nice plugin. It's funny that you bring that up because it came up this week. That's not too bad at all. Find them all. I bought the wife a bunch of booze. There's all kinds of booze in there for her to drink. And I'm just using the same guitar, same pickups. This is still the Charvel Skatecaster, obviously. And yeah, Mick Thompson set. To me, this set is just, it's flawless. Flawless. You dig? Sounded pretty good. That's PB Triple X. That'd be awesome if he used the Triple X in Slayer. He did not, but... Wow, same exact signal chain, but instead he's using the AKG 414, one of my favorite mics out there. And it sounds good so far, real good. Really good. I'm enjoying myself here today. Hopefully you guys are as well. Like and subscribe. If you're having a good time, come find us. We're here on weekends. Now, in the summertime, in summertime, the streaming hours change. They could happen anytime, really. It could be in the middle of the day, it could be in the morning. I'm going to be dropping a lot of pre-recorded content this summer. It's going to be one of my primary focuses for the entire summer, is getting lots of pre-recorded content finished. Stuff that's in more short form. The short formats, not having the short format stuff and the pre-recorded stuff, it really does. It hurts our channel. Well, it doesn't hurt our channel. It just, we don't grow as fast because I never, ever, ever send anything to a developer to share, because I don't want to be like, hey, here's a 2-hour stream that may contain some language that might not be not safe for work, whatever. We never send them out. So anytime you see a share, it's just when they've maybe taken it upon themselves to share it. So we never ask anyone to share. So we will be doing that over the summer. We'll be asking people and sending things to people to share. And we have a lot of friends and a lot of connections. So probably be seeing this awful, horrible face a lot more often this summer. Wow. Whoop. Still kind of quiet though. Wow. Okie dokie. Let's go with the mid-gain PB Triple X with the 414. It does not say which speakers. Although, doesn't he use mostly Eminence? Or does he just go like, is it, or is, no, wait. Is he just like, I thought he used, I'm not really sure, actually. I think I've seen his cabinets with all kinds of different speakers. So they might just be like by customer request. It might just be like an option. If you go to their website and look under their option for speakers when you order, what happens, I guess? They do have some IRs over at Arachnid Cabinets, although I cannot recommend them because the folders are super weird. The folders are super weird. They are... IR pack. Yeah, I can't recommend them at all. Just because they are kind of bananas. They're weird amounts of files, and it's sort of just a mishmash of stuff. I don't know. You can check them out, but they're rather pricey for what you receive. I can tell. That's all I can say. Guitar cabinets. Is there a custom order? Finish options, signature, standard sound. Standard series. I don't see anything that suggests which exactly they use. Custom speaker baffle. $100 is a pretty damn good. That's a good price for that. Mesh upgrades only $50. He actually, the prices at Arachnid Cabinets are really nice. Nice prices for what you get. Like, these cabinets look like built for war. And it's kind of similar to like a Vader cabinet, right? Wait a minute. Well, they're actually a little bit more expensive than I thought. Never mind. Well, $1,500 is a lot for a cabinet. $1,900. That's a $2,000 cabinet. So never mind. So the cabinet itself is a pretty high. It's pretty. Well, I mean, again, keep in mind these are crafted like these are boutique cabinets, so probably not. And this is signature as well. So signature royalties go up, and the price has to go up to accommodate royalties. Let's see, the standard oversize 1800, 1600. That's a it is what it is. Not to mention current economy being what it is. But the thing I like is that he makes the upgrades and all the small things that you can add affordable, so that the super uber customized version isn't super far away from the standard version. So I like that. I like that you can pay the premium price for a premium product, but then he has all these premium upgrades that you can get for very, very little dollars, which is nice. So you can be the coolest guy in the room and not just have the base mod. Cool beans. Now we know more about that. You're good. I mean, the thing is, though, like yes, $2,000 seems like a lot for a cabinet. But again, we have to think about today's economy. We have to think about the work and the equipment that are and the time that are going into the cabinet build. And we also have to think about the worth, the standard worth to you. Are you touring? Are you gigging all the time to where a fucking crazy looking cabinet like that is going to be a nice piece of your band's aesthetic on stage? That is, can you do that stuff, some of that stuff yourself and customize your own cabinets? Sure you can. I've done it myself. But like with rope lighting and all kinds of airbrush work on the cabinet I used to have, it's possible. However, that being said, if you have like a dual guitarist band and you both have these sick, like blood splatter painted with the fucking pentagram and the lights and that's a really cool aesthetic for your band to have, especially if your drummer's got like that mint, super nice kit and you've got some super nice, you've got your whole rigs are nice. Whether you want to believe it or not, a super nice rig aesthetically can be a nice thing for a band to have on stage. I know it's kind of going by the wayside now with bands just going to mostly direct rigs and in-ear monitors and shit. I just always feel like guitar players should have air moving on a stage because of the front of house factor. That's been my main argument against direct rigs for years, is that the people in the front row that fucking work their asses off to get to that front row do not get the same experience if you do not have air moving on stage. Front of house is often, they are behind front of house, the big giant front of house speakers. Most of the time when you're in the front row, you can't hear front of house as well. So, and you're getting screwed out of basically a show. You're hearing the singer, you're hearing drums, you're hearing maybe what's coming out of some sort of monitors. But having seen Amon Amarth in that kind of setting, a smaller bar, we were right up front or very close to the front, and there was almost no stage volume beyond drums and vocals. And it's a weird thing. Makes me not want to stand in the front. So that's just, I don't know, maybe it's my own 2 cents, but that's just my thought on direct rigs. How do we get there from here? No idea. It's Friday. We talk a lot of shit. Fucked it up. Riff over. Makes me want to go listen to that tone though, just because I love it so very much. So let's listen to that tone real quick, just to make, one thing we like to do here is we like to pay homage to great tone, and I think that's just how the world should be. All right. Sounds like this band should be in C sharp instead of D. What do you guys think? Oh, the riff. I can smell that tone. Good God. Good Lord. Good Lord. Check out Spirit World, Waiting on the Reaper. Today, what are we doing here on this channel? Well, we're going over ToneHub. We just finished going over Amp Loca, and it was a good time. 11 people in the house. It means a lot to me. By the way, if I miss anything you say, and if you have something that you really want to ask me or anybody in the or someone on the staff here, if there's something that we missed, by all means, yell at me, okay? Email me, theampsimuniverse@gmail.com. I will get back to you at some point, and I will answer your question. I've had people get angry with me for missing something that they had to say, and sometimes when we're trying to do things, it just happens. I also get shit for talking too much and reading too much. So, I mean, I'm not really sure where the happy medium is there. All right, let's go back here. I missed some things. Oh my God, I missed all the things. You guys are flying today. Okay, I found where I left off. Some gear just doesn't sit with you until you magically put it into the right context. 100%. Completely agree with that. Hey, we were just talking about booze. Who was? I used to think I actually don't drink anymore. It's just the herbal enhancement for myself. And even then, I'm trying to cut back a little bit if I can. So that's the other thing. Hairs will float by and they'll just get stuck to the mic koozie. And then I'll go close to it. And as soon as you breathe in a couple times, it's like, hey, I'm going to find my wig. And it's gone. And then all of a sudden, again, one of those reactions. Dovetail jointing too. He puts a lot of work into them. He sure does. I'm $2,000 for a cabinet. I'm sorry, but it's not a lot of money when it comes to what you're actually getting from Arachnid. It's not. It's not even close. Like if it was $3,000, then we'd have a conversation to have. You know what I mean? $2,500. I still don't think that even at $2,500, if you're planning on using and putting work on that cabinet, I still don't think I still don't think it's a big deal. I really don't. Do I have that kind of money and would I spend that kind of money? No. We're not talking about me. I'm talking about for the right hands, for the right person that really would value that cabinet and have it go into their band's aesthetic. If you're just one guy in a band, though, that's the thing. If you're in one dude, if you're a 2-guitar player band and one dude's got like a hey, no judgment against Bugera. I'm just bringing it up because I had a Bugera and Bugera cabinet. I was the guitar player in a band and I had a Bugera and a Bugera cabinet, and the other fella in my band had an Arachnid cabinet with all the bells and whistles and the lights and the pentagrams. And like maybe on top of it is like a rack unit with a tuner and effects, and then a head on top, maybe, you know. And then, man, think of just like he's over there, and then you're over on the other side. That's how you're gonna feel, and it's not how the tone's gonna be. I will fuck somebody's tone up with a Bugera, no problem. Great sounding amps. But I'm just saying aesthetically how you're looking at things. You know what I mean? Same dude's probably got a custom BC Rich, or maybe he was lucky enough to get one of those Bernie Ricos. No, what was the other? Who's the dude? You want to get that conversation fired up? Do you guys remember that stuff? Do you remember the Bernie Rico Jr. stuff? Do you remember that whole thing that went on the guitar forums where like there's like the lawsuits and stuff? Was that the company I'm thinking of? Do you guys remember that? Am I the only person that remembers this? Anyways, that dude made nice guitars though before things went all belly up. Did he ever restart a business as well? Now that just freshly came into my mind from a decade ago or more, I'm wondering, did that dude ever like get back to like, whatever happened with that? I don't know if I ever found out what happened. Somebody in the chat must know. That sounds terrific. We're going to move on from this pack in a minute. Langner Marshall, is that the amp that you wanted? I still got to catch up here. Premium price, same fucking price as a regular Mesa OS in Europe. Yeah, it's fair. Eddie, is that triple X 412 you're referring to still been or have chosen? I used to hate orange cabinets until I got them myself. Orange cabinets are terrific for certain things. I feel like in a punk rock band or like a rock band, I don't care if you use an orange amp with it or not, but it's a really nice aesthetic. There's this local band that plays here that I saw a lot of times. One guy had a Marshall rig, and the other guy had a Marshall on top of an orange. And the two cabinets in a mix blend so nicely. Like it seems like they, you know how some cabinets will like, you know, they'll be like this signal wise, you know, those two cabinets were just like, they meshed up so nicely. That's one thing I've used a lot of times as well, in recording my own stuff. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to catch up. I want to make sure. Tim Robertson is here, Tyler. How dare you not make me the center of attention? I said hi to Tim as soon as he came in. I said hi to him. Sorry, Tim. I didn't mean to upset you. If I'm one thing I know about Tim, he's not the least bit rattled. If you're on the wake and bake trying to cut back, that is the worst thing. Isn't it the worst? Well, I'm not going to sit here and talk about that specifically, but like the first thing in the morning thing, I found a solution to that though. And it's called Pineapple Express. But not the movie. Which guitars look sweet? Those, the Bernie Ricos? I have no cabs, no amps. I recorded with plugins and jammed through a cheap modeler. That's fair. I at this point, at one point, I owned a lot of analog gear, like a ton of it. Now, the only analog pedal I have left is sitting right back there, and is that is a death metal distortion pedal, as you can see down there beside the Dragon. That's the last piece of analog gear I have left, and the only reason it's here is because it's here to scare the plugins into making sure the plugins do their job. It's over there just in case. It'll handle business. One of these days, I'm going to do a stream where I put that thing out front of my interface. And or maybe let's do a stream where all we do is use a metal zone out front of everything. Does it chug? Does it chug? Why is that so much louder? It's the little things I don't think. Like that's tough when that happens. Don't like that file as much. What's a Langner Marshall? That must be a modified somebody that modifies Marshalls. Yes. Wait a minute. SC Electronics V-Kick. What's a Paranormal Jubilee? Ah! That should never happen. He likes his 414 though. That is loud. Let's bring that back a little bit there. Not really my thing. Is there another pack that we are now through the Gary Holt pack? Is there anything else anybody would like to me to check out? I'm going to look around. Somebody dropped the new release. Wait a minute. Is this what's in here? Is this just, oh, it's a pack. It's a pack. Okay, can I click on this then? Oh, that's in, sorry. This is in the trace. Wait a minute. I'm confused. This is a pack, but it's asking me to download it. Okay, so this is, I see. So this is a trace. These are artist expansions. So let's show all of these. I don't want to get into the trace stuff just yet. It is sick though. I just kind of want to cruise in here for a second if we can. We, Colin Richardson. Why can't, oh, there it is. Let's try the Colin Richardson pack as requested earlier. I think it was Mark. Mark, was that you? Woo! Sounds great already. One thing I'm going to say is that oftentimes, not just sometimes, but oftentimes, producer packs will trump, and that is a word prior to the, I hate even using it as a word. We're not going to talk politics, but I just mean as using that as a way of, you know what I mean? But I believe it was a card term prior to that. So it said, anyways, we're not talking about politics. One thing I would say is that producers and engineer packs will trump artist packs because they just do. As you can imagine, the producers and the engineers are just amazing at making captures. They're amazing at making profiles. They're awesome at making IRs, it seems. These are the people, whereas like the artist packs to me tend to be like not hit and miss, but they do tend to be not hit and miss. What's the word I'm looking for? Maybe the consistency is just a tiny bit lower than you might find with the producers and engineer packs. Hopefully that says things a little bit more professionally. And if you don't know who Colin Richardson is, he's responsible for just a few really good albums that you might want to go and check his name out. And guaranteed, if you've listened to metal for longer than 12 seconds, you'll know exactly who he is just by looking through some of the stuff that he's produced. 100% chance you've heard an album that he's done. And this guy is sort of like, as mentioned before, this is one of the kings of guitar tone in metal guitar tone, we'll say. Just a serious monster. I will say that the Lossy Lomert packs and the Will Putney packs are also incredibly high quality. So much fucking value in those packs. Tons and tons of value. As you might know, Will Putney, also a producer. Lossy Lomert, also a producer. So many producer packs in here that even people that you have no idea who they are. Chances are, if you have no idea who that person is, because let's be honest, some producers' names fly a little bit more under the radar. They're not as out there promoting themselves. Maybe they're not as out there on social media. Maybe they're not as out there with signature efforts and doing drum shots, packs, and everything else. Some producers, however, are very much on, they have their thumb very, very firmly on that pulse. And they're doing all kinds of stuff to kind of grow, not only grow their name, but kind of help with, you know, additional revenue streams when doing stuff like that. Yeah, much like Jason Sukoff. Also, Jason Sukoff was in a band called Capharnaum, and also a band called Crotch Duster. Another guy that can rip. The guy absolutely shreds. There are a lot of producers that can really shred on various instruments. In fact, I think you'd be hard-pressed to find a producer that didn't shred on at least one instrument. Most of the time, does it not seem like every single producer and engineer out there can play piano? You know what I mean? Like, how many times have we seen a DVD, the DVD studio extras, or it's behind the scenes footage or whatever it is, like, you know, you look up a studio vlog and at some point there's a producer with a piano. There's a picture of a producer with a piano playing something over something or whatever. Does it not seem like that happens more often than not? Am I nuts or am I nuts? I know that's true already, but one amp this dude is super well known for is, of course, the 5150 and the entire 5150 of family, which includes like 6505s and all that jazz. If you notice, there are a lot of those amps. Wow, there's such a nice amp list in here. The crazy gear lists, the Gary Holt pack didn't have the craziest gear, but you'll notice these producer packs. Again, these are human beings. Not to say that guitar players don't have the same amp walls, but oftentimes when you look at pictures of studios, they've got those walls and walls of amps. You know what I mean? Not walls, but like the big industrial shelves that have like an amp on every rung with like a piece of rope lighting behind it, or a little rope a little light of some sort behind it. Beautiful amp walls. They can easily just go amp to amp to amp to amp to amp and just keep capturing or profiling, tracing, whatever they would like. So, man, can you imagine having that nice amp wall and having, if that was your job, was just like sit around and capture stuff all day? It might get a little tedious though. Another cool thing here is you can favorite things, favorite that, and then if you go into my library, my presets, my traces, no, where do I find that? I don't even know where I would find that. My favorites, sorry. Right here, you'll note that I've got a few I've got Billy Bio Orange, a few things that are saved, and so you just go to my favorites and you can just accumulate all the different things that you like. And I lost the pack. I lost the pack. How do I get back to that? That's a little sad. Wait a minute. If I go to amps and cabs again, no, that's not gonna work. Damn it. All right. Well, poop to that. I want to go back to that because that was having a good time in that pack. Yeah, I'm just gonna have a good time instead. All right, so we've got Mini Marshall here. Nice. Gonna be here about another 20 minutes or so, just to kind of round it off. About 2 hours today. It's been just a lot of fun today. Well, actually 2.5 hours. Got teared up the other day by the very old news that Michael Wagenaar had retired and sold all of his studio stuff years ago. That would be Tim Robertson. When session guys and producers make an album, basically. Yeah. JVM through G1265. JVM? I don't know if I can just look for gear. Can I? I don't think I... Oh, wait. I see it. You mean in this pack? Sure. The file got dark quick. Not my favorite file. I'm a little underwhelmed by that one. Is that one of your favorites? Like, you have this pack? Maybe it's just the guitar I'm using it with. He's got a Yamaha T50, which is an OG Mike Soldano amp. Yamaha T50 in here? Am I supposed to be... is it in here? Cannot find it. That dude deserves... Oh, wait, which guy? Taylor Young's pack is the best high-gain pack in ToneHub. All right. I'll see that for you. Taylor Young. Let's do it. It's so grungy, but I love it so much. Wowzers. Good call. By the way, when we talk about artists that deserve their own signature plugin or deserve their own signature pack, etc., we really have to think about the actual deserve and can they sell it? You know what I mean? There's a lot of guitar players out there that deserve plugins, but would they try to sell it? One of the biggest problems, I think, with signature plugins and signature packs is if you do them with artists that don't have any real knowledge of plugins and they don't really care about them that much and they don't use them, it's really, really tough because they will not work very hard to sell the plugin. That's just the way it is. If that artist, and if it's not a gigantic name, you know what I mean? If it's a gigantic name, it doesn't fucking matter because the name sells it all. But in some situations, I've been in myself with signature artists. Some signature artists expect to just sit back and let their name sell the plugin. And then it doesn't always work that way. It really takes hard work. The artist has to be hustling on social media. The artist has to be recording little tone clips and get behind at least 2 or 3 high quality pieces of promotional content and just be kind of out there and for example, commenting on demos from artists that or creators that are doing demos and stuff. Like, do that. That is a big thing that helps to sell more of those units. But not every artist is willing to put in that groundwork. So it really depends. I've been very shocked on both sides. There's been artists that I was like, ooh, geez, I don't know about that band. I've never heard of that band before. I don't know if they're going to be able to sell a lot. And then it was like, boom, it just explodes, right? And then I've also been wrong before where there was an artist that on paper, you're looking at it and saying, well, this artist deserves a signature plugin. And in the fact that they got one, and then it didn't sell very well because they really didn't get behind the marketing very much or very, very hard. So there are things the artist can really make or break a plugin. They really can. Hold on, I'm just going to get the vocal chain here. Check, 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 check. Check, hey, check. Check, 2, check, hey. Okay. I bumped everything around when I set it all up yesterday, and I'm just trying to get everything. Thank you so much for being patient with me today, getting everything tweaked back in. This is a really unique sounding amp. It sounds terrible when I play it like that. When you mix that, but specifically the slide. I just always liked the sound of that when mixed in. It was just such a metalcore, hardcore thing. New metal as well. That was a lot of new metal use that shit. Next gen of converged style playing sounds interesting. We'll check them out. Say what? Yeah, I just wanted to hear the combo. It is darker than I would have expected as well. Yeah, I wasn't that. I wasn't feeling it. Going into that, normally a JVM is kind of something I'm always going to get behind. I love the JVM. Such a great sounding fucking amp. And normally it's one of those amps, you put it on top of whatever fucking cab you want, and it'll sound pretty good, like 412Ys or 212Ys. You can put it on top of just about anything, it'll have it sound really good. But that being said, in that particular case, it did not. All right. These pedals are just killing me over here. This is the DOD Supra distortion that he put on this file. I have never heard of that pedal before. The Australian Governor. This dude's pack. I'm sorry, but what band is this dude from? Zen? Or did you already say and I missed it? You probably said and I missed it. Going from Colin Richardson to this has to be an unforgivable sin in some religion. What do you mean? I think that's pretty goddamn heavy, no? Like, Colin Richardson to this? That's pretty gnarly, dude. And going from Colin Richardson to this, it sounds pretty good to me. I don't know. I'm going to jump back to Colin Richardson in a couple minutes, though. But there's some rad stuff in here that... thank you. See, I would probably never have clicked that pack. But because Zan told me about it, and because we did it in a stream, I'm all over it. Like, I'm going to remember this as being a pretty rad thing. Wow, there's bass in here, too? Is this bass as well? Yeah, it looks like there's bass in here as well. Is he a producer or is he in a band? Again, I have no idea. There's so many people out there. There's doing rad stuff these days. Let's hear the HM Tunis. That's pretty damn ballsy. That's a neat amp. I like it. Very cool. Sun Model T. There are no fuzz pedals in here. I guess if you want to apply fuzz, you'd have to apply it yourself with one of the fuzz pedals. Too much sitting today. My ass is just dancing around in this chair like a son of a bitch today. I have such a hard time with heavy bass tones. Lucius, get at me on this one. We can do heavy bass tones. Trust me. I will teach you the easiest way. I'll just send me a quick email and I'll send you a quick email today or tomorrow with the easiest way to get a really heavy bass tone. And you'll never forget it. And it's super easy. It's just a simple parallel distortion channel. And we can use mostly freeware to get it, depending on which options you have. There are a lot of ways to do it, but I can definitely help you with that to get a really good, solid, heavy bass tone. However, there are plugins that kind of do a lot of the work. Mammoth from Aurora DSP does a really good job with kind of everything on board to do like a parallel chain. Parallax does that as well. There's more than a few plugins these days that have the ability to they also have the crossover and a few other things that you can kind of work into things. Mammoth is a good place to start from Aurora, but again, it really depends on you. Oh, I just noticed that you said, I do like Mammoth a lot for bass, but it makes you a lot of options, but I still never get it to sit just right. Okay, I got you. I go crazy on bass tones. Yeah. Digbeth, man. Digbeth. That thing is like a machine, but in a more simplistic way, using a parallel distortion channel, I think being that the way you're talking and the way you're saying you can't get it to sit, this is the way we're going to get it to sit in your mix, is by doing a parallel chain. A parallel setup with 2 tracks and a duplicate of the bass track. Just send me a quick email, and I will get back to you, and we'll get you some sweet sounding bass by the end of the weekend, I'm assuming. Also, if you're out there and you bought the living beta for the Flesh Rot, this Heavy Earth Flesh Rot plugin is about to explode. That is the final version is now finished. The near final version is finished. The company, this Heavy Earth, they have final approval, so they now have access to the plugin, and it's very, very, very shortly it's going to come out. All right, folks. Laney Digbeth can do a subtrack and a regular in the same chain. Yes, it can. Yes, it does. Yes, it splits your signal. Yes. So yeah, everything's on board. But what I mean is, if maybe Digbeth is a little too much for some people, there's a lot going on. There is a very easy way with some very easy to use components that we can use to get a really nice and really effective heavy bass tone with parallel distortion that will sit in a mix, and you'll be able to kind of really extra tweak it. Sometimes I find the ability to do it inside one plugin, it's nice, but sometimes it doesn't cover all the bases that maybe I wanted to cover. Yes, it has awesome sub functionality. In fact, every single bass plugin, I think every bass plugin except for Absalon Bass has, and Daniel is obsessed with bass and bass distortion, just so you're aware. The dude is very much, Daniel at Aurora DSP, that is, he is obsessed with bass distortion, and not just that, but low distortion in general. He's a baritone guitar lover. Everything he makes is going to be good for A, distortion, and B, low tunings. It's a P bass you're using. Is it what pickup is in it? Because that is going to be fighting you for sure. To get a really, really good gainy bass channel, bass tone with just with only having the P bass pickup, unless it's something like a 1/4 pound or something that's noiseless, you're going to end up with some maybe some things you don't want in there, but it's easy enough to figure that out too. So it might be you might be fighting a little harder, but again, it's not the end of the world. Plus, there are lots and lots of P bass replacement pickups that can help you maybe get past that, like noiseless options and whatnot. So, all right, so folks, it's been a fun day. We kicked some ass with with an Audio Assault amp locker. We kicked some more ass with ToneHub by user suggestion, and I had a lot of fun today. I'm going to be back tomorrow, likely on the other channel, but maybe also on this channel. I have yet to do a bass stream for the new Neural DSP Dark Glass Ultimate. I really want to do that, so you might see me pop in the morning or around noon to do that. And then, of course, Void Riff Codec is going to get going probably about 4:30 or 5 o'clock-ish Eastern time tomorrow. And as I said, we're going to start with a nice, easy introductory stream. If you want to be there for that, that's cool. If you're not into Doom, I totally understand. If you don't want to be there, no hard feelings. All right, folks, my challenge for you today is to go explore everything that both Audio Assault and STL Tones have to offer, because I believe they have various amounts of stuff that could be good for just about anybody. No, not just about, literally any player or anyone out there that plays a stringed instrument can probably get a lot out of any of these platforms. So with that being said, I've been digging the hell out of Dark Glass Ultimate. Really nice. I have a Music Man, which helps though. Speaking of, before we get out of here, Joe Darts just put out a Music Man bass with no volume knob. No volume knob, no tone knob. Why are we doing this? I don't understand when Carl Sanders does it. I don't understand why anybody would want to release a signature instrument or any instrument whatsoever without at least a volume knob, at least some sort of, or even a kill switch. Fine, kill switch. Give me a kill switch then. That's fine. Something to turn the signal off. other than relying on a volume pedal or something on stage in your live rig to tap it out. That to me seems a so uncomfortable feeling. Does that make anybody else very uncomfortable to play just to think about an instrument that doesn't at very least have a volume knob? I won't cry without a tone knob, although for bass I do like to have one, but goodness gracious. You have a Fender Jazz Aerodyne. Nice. Well, if you guys want to, you know what, we're talking bass. Be here tomorrow, guys. I'm just gonna lock it up. I'll be here tomorrow at some point, early afternoon with some bass, and then as mentioned, tomorrow we're gonna do some Void Riff codec. Thanks for being here once again. Like and subscribe if we have entertained you. I am so sorry I didn't get to everyone's comments today. My voice is starting to just completely end, so I would actually like to stay here for another half hour or so, but my voice is toast. So again, if I missed something that you said, please do email it to me and I will get back to you ASAP. Thanks for being here. I'll see you guys next time.